y'all, this is Anna Alexander, and it is opening weekend of Disney Pixar's latest release, Lightyear. So if you have not caught the meta-ness of this movie, so Lightyear is, back in 1995, Andy saw a movie that became his most favorite movie. The movie had merchandise, and the merchandise was a doll, Buzz Lightyear, based off the character in the movie. This movie, Lightyear, is supposedly that movie. Right? Okay, so there we go. There's so much in this movie that kind of makes you go, oh, how did they, what? Nevertheless, okay, so what I really enjoyed about Lightyear was that all the lines that Buzz says when we first meet him in Toy Story, he says them in Lightyear. Similar context, but it's different, but it's hilarious because he's doing it's the same open lens looking at the world that he's seen through his visor. He's doing his space log. He's testing the terrain. Is the air breathable? All of that's in there. And throughout Lightyear, there's little bitty moments of that as well, where they're pulling lines from that Buzz says in Toy Story, but we're seeing them in a different world and kind of going, that is why he would say this. That is why he would phrase things this way. It's because that's how he did it in this movie. And so it's really quite clever and made me chuckle every time I would hear something that's very familiar, seeing how it worked together. The animation, though, I always say, do you need to go see this? Do you need to go to the movies theater to see a movie, or can you wait till it's streamed? This one, I don't necessarily think if you have to go to a theater, but you definitely need to see it on a bigger screen. And it's not necessarily the big picture animation that blew me away. It was the tiny details. Socks, this cat, I didn't realize was velveteen until I saw it on the big screen going, oh, they animated velvet. The sweat on their brows, they eat a sandwich, and the meat, the way they did the meat even, was like, wow, the little scratches and whatnot on their armor was so impressive that if you love those kind of details, then yes, definitely go to the theater, definitely see on a big screen, just so you can catch all those little details. The story was cute. It had many, many themes, many messages. The main messages, I would say, is basically how to carry on after you've made a mistake. Teamwork makes the dream work. Buzz had to learn, just like he did in Toy Story, had to learn how to work in a team. We also had a message of like, when you're obsessed over something and you obsess so much on one single task, you kind of miss life as it happens around you. So with those kind of three pillars of the plot driving the story, where I kind of got hung up was it got a little bit of repetitiveness to it, because we had characters who were we had their identities up front. You know, Buzz, very much the maverick. He's going to do it on his own. He's going to fix his own mistakes. We had Izzy, who was also, my grandmother's great. I'm going to try to be what my grandmother would want me to be, and kind of jumps the gun, gets a little bit impatient. We had Mo, who's just a little bit too inept. And the plot was driven, as my youngest said brilliantly, the plot was driven by Mo's clumsiness. And because of that, you had all this greatness and just the same beats for each scene. It got a little repetitive for me. It's an animated feature. I get it. It's meant for kids. Totally understand. Did it lessen my enjoyment overall? Maybe not really. It just took something that could have been awesome and just made it good. But again, the visuals are great. There's lots of heart to it. Socks is deadpan funny, hilarious. There's this little callbacks that I appreciate, those little things to it. It's just the story, I think, could have been just a little less of the repetitiveness to it, as I'm repeating myself. There you go. So one other little hiccup I had, and only because it happens right from the start. So they're in the spaceship, they land on this uncharted planet to do a wee bit of exploring, get stuck on said planet. Somehow within that spaceship, they had equipment to build infrastructure, to build a base of operation with machines. And I don't know how they fed these people for so long. I have no idea how they fueled these people for so long. Just the infrastructure, like you say, like you see. So over the course of a year, we built a base to try to get back to find the fuel cells to get us back home. And I'm like, where did they find this crane on this spaceship? It's just the things that they would have to create and make. And it made my logistical brain go crazy. And I think I spent way too much time trying to figure out how they managed to build this society. With however many people. Oh yeah, there was 1,200 people on the spaceship. So I guess that's a fair amount of people to like get stuff done. And they were mostly scientists, but still. Silly, I know, but my brain went straight there. So if you wanted to wait until it streamed, smaller screen, Tuesday matinee where you can get it for $5 at AMC, go ahead, have a ball. I'm sure you will enjoy yourselves very much. Do you need to rush out and spend $20 a ticket? Maybe not. Not yet, anyway. But I do think that once you do see it, you will enjoy yourself. Yeah, that made sense. Sure. Thank you so much for spending these few minutes with me. I do appreciate every second that you have to give me. I also appreciate it if you give a little subscribe so you know when I post the next movie review or reaction. There's so much good television out. So much good television. But I want you here with me for those adventures. And I also hope that you found 5 seconds, just pure joy, all to yourself. So thanks again, y'all. And until next time.